Okay, fine. So good morning. So we'll start with the next topic, the steam turbine. That is a single stage impulse steam turbine. You know that you have the blade velocity or peripheral velocity, which is u, and we have the what is called as your absolute velocity or v1, what is called. So now what is the influence of this particular ratio? We call it as a phi. Okay. So influence of the next topic is influence of the ratio of influence of the ratio of the blade velocity to your steam velocity. Okay, blade velocity, the ratio of blade velocity or peripheral velocity, influence of blade velocity to your steam or absolute velocity, which is your V1. Okay, so what is the influence on? One is the blade efficiency on the vane or blade efficiency. Blade efficiency in a single stage, in a single stage steam turbine. This is what we need to look into it. This is today's discussion for the topic. Okay. Now, if you consider a single stage impulse turbine, already we have seen. So we have seen this particular velocity triangle. Let's go and take it. This is a single stage steam turbine. Here, I'm going to take this. This is a single stage steam turbine. I have a combined velocity triangle for it, where we have the V1, where you have U, all those things and all. Now, what is the effect of friction here? See the effect of friction. The first quantity is actually here in this single stage, the effect of friction. If you consider the effect of friction, what is it actually? It is your, if I take into account the blade channel, what we have, your VR2. So if I take that as CB, so I have something called as your relative velocity VR2 by VR1. So this will be less than 1 because the friction will reduce your relative velocity, or the fluid that is flowing over it actually will absorb some amount of energy as it flows over it. That's one thing. And the second thing is what we have seen is actually for a simple D-level turbine. So the what we consider is beta 1 is equal to beta 2. But in most of the cases, the beta 2 is in the practical cases. So in practice or in practical cases, your beta 2 has been found to be less than your beta 1. Okay, even though it's a pure impulse condition, only for your D level turbines, your beta 1 is equal to beta 2. So your beta 2 will be slightly lower than your beta 1. So these are the two conditions which you have to consider. Now, what is your blade efficiency? The blade efficiency is given by this expression yesterday what you have defined. So the blade efficiency is given by, this is what we have, that is work done, the work done by the inlet kinetic energy that is available at the any inlet to it. That is the work done is actually VW1, it is minus of minus, that is plus, directly I'll write it, VW1 plus VW2 into U, okay, divided by 1 by 2 V1 square, or I can write is equal to 2 into U into VW1 plus VW2, VW1 plus VW2 divided by V1 square. Let me call this as equation number 1. Okay. So now from the velocity triangle, if I consider the velocity triangle, so what is this U into this particular thing? Okay. Now, if you go back and see, yesterday I think we got this expression. You go and look into that particular expression. So yesterday we have defined something. What is your VW1 and what is your VW2? Okay, so we got an expression for your blade efficiency. Yesterday we derived it actually. I will go back and see. We already got this expression for blade efficiency. Okay, we got this expression for blade efficiency, which is equal to, yeah. So this expression is there. Now yesterday we wrote in terms of your kinetic energy. So now today what we'll try to do is actually we'll try to write this expression in terms of your beta 1 and beta 2. Okay. Now consider the velocity triangle. If I consider the velocity triangle, so let me write that. Consider the velocity triangles. The velocity triangles at, that is, inlet and exit. Okay, what is cos beta 1? Okay, what is cos beta 1? Cos beta 1 is equal to what? Your x. Okay, x divided by your VR1. Okay, x divided by VR1. What is your x actually? It is VW1 minus u divided by VR1. Okay, that's the expression what we have. Or I can write the same expression. So whatever I have, I can write in terms of VW1. So VW1 is equal to u plus VR1 into cos beta 1. Okay. Similarly, in the exit velocity triangle, what is cos beta 2? So cos beta 2 will be equal to your y, or what we consider that y is equal to VW2 plus u. So that is y divided by VR2, that is VW2 plus u divided by VR2, or I can write VW2 is equal to, okay, VW2 is equal to VR2 cos beta 2 minus u. Okay, this is the expression we got. Now I'll substitute this VW1 and VW2 in equation 1. Okay, once I substitute, what I'm going to get, your blade efficiency will be equal to, okay, if I substitute, what I'm going to get actually, I'm going to get in terms of beta 1 and beta 2. Okay, so therefore, it may be a repetition of what we did yesterday. Okay, 2 into u into VW1 is equal to u plus VR1 into cos beta 1, okay, plus V2 is equal to VR2 into cos beta 2 minus u whole thing divided by your V1 square. Whole thing divided by V1 square. Okay. Now, if I try to u just cancel out, okay, plus u minus u just they cancel out. So I am left with your blade efficiency is equal to 2 times your u into, so VR1 into cos beta 1, if I take it out, okay, VR1 into cos beta 1, if I take it out, what I am left with actually, I am left with 1 plus, okay, it is 1 plus VR2 into cos beta 2 divided by VR1 into cos beta 1, okay, whole thing divided by V1 square. Whole thing divided by V1 square. So that's what we have actually. Now further, so the blade efficiency is equal to, so if I define, let me define CBS. So if I define CB is equal to VR2 by VR1 and K is equal to cos beta 2 by cos beta 1. Okay, already I have defined this. I can write the blade efficiency is equal to 2 into U into VR1 into cos beta 1 divided by V1 square into 1 plus CB into K. I got this expression now. Now, what is this V1 square? So now, what I'm going to do actually here, I'm going to do some kind of this thing. So now, since beta 1, beta 2 are usually very small, okay, beta 1 and beta 2 are small. So what we try to do, so VR1 cos beta 1 will be equal to, so we have already defined this, VR1 cos beta 1 is equal to, so VR1 cos beta 1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1. Yeah, we can write in that particular form. Or we can define phi is equal to. So let us define. So let me call this as equation number 2. This is equation number 2. Okay, we are defining u is equal to. We are defining u is equal to. Or sorry, phi is equal to. Let phi is equal to u by v1. What it is actually, that is your speed ratio. Okay, that's your speed ratio. Or I can write it as this. I can write it as this is equal to u by v1 square, or I can write in terms of phi. So u is equal to phi into v1. Okay, u is equal to pi into v1. So wherever u is there, I'm going to put it actually. So this, therefore, your blade efficiency is equal to 2 into phi into v1 into, sorry, phi into v1 into VR1 into VR1 cos beta 1, okay, divided by v1 square into 1 plus CB into K. Okay, now V1, one of the V1 and V1 square just simply cancel out. Okay, I'm left with only the blade efficiency is equal to 2 into phi into VR1 into cos beta 1 divided by V1 into 1 plus CB into K. Okay, so let me call this as equation number 3. Let me put this as equation number 3. Okay, anything else left out? Okay. Then what is this VR1? Okay, if you go back and see your, what is your VR1? VR1, I can say if I take alpha, so VR1, I can write in terms of VR1. Yesterday, I think we got that expression. Yeah. So what is it actually? Yeah. VR1 cos beta 1. I think if you go, hope you remember this particular thing, this expression, no? VR1 cos beta 1, this particular thing. I'll write it again, this particular thing. Okay, VR1 cos beta 1, this is the expression what we have. VR1 cos beta 1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1 minus U. Okay, that I'm going to write. I should have done that before, then I should have substituted. Okay, let me do that, then I will delete. Okay, let me substitute that, then I will come back to this pi. Do that in the equation 2. So what I'm going to do, VR1 cos beta 1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1 into U. So therefore, your blade efficiency is equal to 2 into U into V1 cos alpha 1 minus U by V1 square into 1 plus CB into K, or your blade efficiency is equal to 2 into U into V1 cos alpha 1 minus 2u square, or if I take 2 outside, so 2u square, okay, whole thing divided by V1 square into 1 plus CB into K. I think this is the expression what we have. If you go back and see, same thing. Yeah, VR1 cos beta 1, so I'm going to get it. U into, so this is only for work done. So here I'm trying to do it for blade efficiency, that's it. I'm trying to do it for blade efficiency. 2 into U square. So here I'm going to let phi is equal to U by V1 or U is equal to phi into V1. So therefore, blade efficiency is equal to 2 into phi into, so V1 into V1, that is V1 square into cos alpha 1 minus 2 into phi into, so V1 square divided by V1 square into 1 plus CB into K. So now look at this particular expression. Every expression is in terms of your phi. Okay. What will happen? V1 square will just simply cancel out. V1 square, V1 square, V1 square just simply cancel out. I am left with only the expression. Your blade efficiency is equal to 2 into, if you want, I can take pi outside. It will be 2 into pi into cos alpha 1 minus 2 pi, okay, to 1 plus C into K, or if I take pi outside, it will be U square, pi square, that is actually pi square, pi square, okay, pi square into V square, it is pi into U square, okay, pi square, that is actually. So I can write this as the blade efficiency is equal to 2 into cos alpha, that is if I take pi outside. If I take pi outside, so this will be, so 2 just cancels, no, 2 into U into V1, okay, 2 into U into V1 by V1 square, okay, that's fine. So 2 into, so it is 2 into 1 plus, so 2 outside is that. If I can take 2 outside, so this will be, if I take 2 outside, this will be 2 into 1 plus CB into K into, okay, into cos alpha 1 minus pi square, right? Plus pi into V1 square, okay, pi into V1, so V1 square, yeah, it's correct. So phi into, phi is there, sorry, here phi is there, no? Yeah, phi into cos alpha. So let me write that. This phi into cos alpha 1 minus pi square. So this is the expression what I am getting. It's a bit complicated. So this is the expression, let me call it as equation number 3. So this is the expression for of the blade efficiency in terms of your speed ratio. What is the speed ratio? And if you closely observe this, actually, this expression, the equation 3, it looks like more of like a parabolic equation. Okay, it looks like a parabolic equation. All right, it's a parabolic equation. So I can write equation 3 is of parabolic in nature. Okay, parabolic in nature. Okay, so I can, if I try to plot it something like this. Okay, if I try to plot a curve, so if I try to plot a curve, That is your on y-axis the efficiency on y-axis, and your speed ratio on x-axis. That is your speed ratio on x-axis or blade efficiency on y-axis. So starting with some 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, like this, still go up to some 1. So here if I go with some 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay. If we do all those things, what you people can do is actually for a given value of, okay, for any given value of alpha, say for example, some alpha is equal to some 20 degrees. Okay. So depending upon your beta, whether you take beta 1 is equal to beta 2, or beta 2 is some 0.9 times of this thing, some k is equal to some point and all, something you take. For this value, if you try to plot it, okay, if you try to plot a curve, so I should be able to get a curve of this nature. Okay, this is for one particular condition. Maybe I may be getting a similar curve for another condition. So this may be for a condition A. Okay, this may be for a condition B where alpha 1 is equal to some 22 or 23 degrees, and beta 2 may be less than your beta 1, or k is equal to some 0.85 or something. So like this, I can get a set of curves for different conditions. I can get it. So because this equation, blade efficiency versus your phi. Okay. Now when you look at this blade efficiency versus curve, for this alpha 1 and for this k and beta, I can maximize this. Okay. If I want to maximize this, what should I do? So to get the maximum blade efficiency, to get the maximum blade efficiency, okay, maximum blade efficiency, d neta b divided by d phi divided by d phi is equal to 0. Okay, is equal to 0. What is it actually? I need to differentiate this. That is d by d phi. So this equation 2 into, okay, 2 into 1 plus cb into k, okay, cb into k into 5 cos alpha 1 minus phi square and equated to 0. Okay, now I need to differentiate this. Okay, so first differentiation I can do. Okay, if I want to get the maximum this thing, d phi by this thing, I need to differentiate. And if I differentiate, what I'm going to get, cos alpha 1 is equal to 2 phi. Okay, if I differentiate, everything else is constant, I'm going to get cos alpha 1 is equal to, okay, cos alpha 1 minus 2 phi is equal to 0, is equal to 0, or your phi is equal to, what I'm going to get? I'm going to get phi is equal to cos alpha 1 by 2. So this is the equation number 4. Or I can tell that the optimum value, okay, I can tell the optimum value of phi, the optimum value of phi for optimum value of phi for maximum blade efficiency, for maximum blade efficiency is given by this thing. Now what should I do? I should go and substitute this phi in equation 3. Okay, therefore substitute for phi, okay, substitute for phi in equation 3, okay, to get what I need to get actually, This is your maximum blade efficiency, 2 into 1 plus CB into K as it is. Then, so I have phi. Phi is equal to cos alpha 1 by 2, phi into 1 more cos alpha 1 minus it is cos square alpha 1 by 2 square, that is 4. Okay. Now if I simplify this actually, so 2 will just this thing, so this will be 1 plus CB into K cos square alpha 1 by 2 minus cos square alpha 1 by 4. Okay, this is, if I take this particular thing, this will be what it will be. I am going to get 4, 2 gets cancelled out, 2 out this thing. I am going to get 1 plus CB into K into cos square alpha 1 by 2. So this is the expression for maximum efficiency, okay, using phi. This is considering the, so considering, see, if you go back and see, we got the similar expression. We got the similar kind of an expression for this is single stage. Now, go back and see here. Yeah, there it is, the blade efficiency, maximum work done, okay, maximum work done, and we get the similar, see, this is an expression what was single stage. Now, to maximize the blade efficiency, considering the speed ratio, this is the expression. This is the expression. Okay. Now, when you look at this expression, whatever the expression we have, let us look at some very idealistic condition. What is the idealistic condition? The idealistic condition is, so for a condition CB, for a condition where CB is equal to 1 for no friction and beta 1 is equal to beta 2. This is for beta 1 is equal to beta 2. So what will happen to your maximum blade efficiency? Your maximum blade efficiency is equal to 1 plus 1 into 1, okay, that is 2 into cos square alpha 1 by 2. This will be simply, once again, what we got yesterday, it is cos square alpha 1. Okay, so this is your maximum blade efficiency for given condition in terms of speed ratio. It's only in terms of speed ratio. Is it clear? This is for a single stage. This is for a single stage given condition. So if I want to get someone ask you, obtain the expression for the maximum blade efficiency for a single stage steam turbine starting from your speed ratio, or with respect to the ratio of blade speed to your steam velocity. If someone asks you, this is what we are supposed to do it actually. Is it clear? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Now let us look at the one more topic. I think we have another 20 minutes is there. Let's try to look at the one more topic. Then look at the multi-staging. Okay, so multi-staging for on a single shaft. Okay, multi-stage steam turbines. So multi-stage steam turbines. Multi-stage steam turbines. So this is on a single wheel. That means single shaft. That is the meaning of it. Single shaft. With a single shaft. So what is that? Multi-staging using a multi-stage thing. Now, here if you look at it actually, there are certain important points before I go into drawing the velocity triangle for this actually multi-staging. Let's try to understand what exactly is multi-staging is. Say, I have a first stage nozzle. Usually what we will be having is, we will be having a nozzle, and from the nozzle, the steam will exit and it will go and hit the first stage of a rotor. Okay, that means I have a nozzle, something like this. This is my nozzle, okay, and the velocity which comes in. Usually the velocity which the steam enters the nozzle is negligible. That is approximately, this is approximately very less, zero point 0.1 or something. So this is a nozzle. This is a nozzle. And steam that comes out of this is a very high velocity. Okay, this is the steam velocity or what we see. Then this is going to hit your blade. Okay, this is your rotor. It's going to hit your rotor with this particular velocity. Okay, let me write that. The velocity of the steam, the velocity of the steam, okay, entering the first stage, entering the first stage, huh? Entering the first stage of the rotor is actually, it is your V1. Is that is the V1 with which it is going to strike, or steam velocity exiting the nozzle. That is the exact, that is the steam, that is the velocity with which the steam is exiting. And what is the corresponding kinetic energy? The kinetic energy that is available there is actually, it is V1 square by 2. This is your kinetic energy. The second thing, so here the efficiency of the nozzle comes into picture. The efficiency of the nozzle, the efficiency of the nozzle comes into picture. That is, the nozzle efficiency is equal to, what is your V1 square by 2 minus your V0, usually that is 0 or negligible velocity. That is your change in kinetic energy divided by your enthalpy drop. So here V0 is very less and neglected, and Vi is very high. Vi is very high due to acceleration, due to acceleration of the fluid. Okay, this is the thing what is happening. Now, third one. See, as I told, when I go for multi-staging, we have something called as stage efficiencies. When I go for a gross stage efficiency of any multi-stage turbine, the gross stage efficiency is always greater than a single stage turbine. Already we have seen yesterday the single stage efficiency we got. But if I consider 3 stages, the gross stage efficiency of a 3-stage turbine is greater than the same work done by a single stage. So that's the advantage why we go for this kind of multi-staging. Just like multi-stage compression, multi-stage expansion, all those things. The maximum gross stage efficiency, the maximum gross stage efficiency, the maximum the gross stage efficiency of multi-stage turbine is always greater than single stage turbine. Okay, if what condition for, okay, a similar kind of stator or nozzle. That's the condition, under that condition. Okay. Now, we all know that what is this flow angles? Okay. The flow angles, which are alpha 1, alpha 2 and all, or the nozzle exit angle, or the nozzle exit angles. So those are your flow angles or the nozzle exit angles. Now, okay, let's try to, why I, maybe in the previous thing I derived the expression, why it is so, no? Suppose I have a different conditions like this, maybe let me, 4 different conditions. Okay. Okay, I have some 4 different conditions like this. Now, they are not on the same thing. Suppose if I try to look at all the peaks of all these things, okay, I'm going to look at all the peaks and try to draw a line. Okay, that is your optimum value. Okay, that is your optimum. So if you look at all the top point actually, when you have looked at the, that will be your optimum or maximum efficiency. So this is just like you might have seen the some curve, what is called as the compressor curves. No, it is very similar to the compressor curves here. Okay, what is the efficiency? What is the optimal efficiency? What I'm going to get, all those things. So if you try to join those things for different conditions, you will be able to getting it. You'll be able to get it actually. So at any given point, you want to get what is the corresponding phi of it actually, or the range of a phi for that actually. So at any given point, you want to do it. So just draw a vertical line here. Okay. Then draw a vertical line here. I'll be able to get some range of phi values. The range of phi means the phi is actually, it is the ratio of u by your v1. I'll be able to get that values. Okay. Now, so when I try to draw the 2 stages, let me try to multi-stage, let me start with a 2 stage. When I try to draw this particular velocity triangle, there is always something called as a carryover coefficient. Okay, there is always something called as a carryover coefficient. Carry over coefficient. The carryover coefficient. What it is actually? What is carryover coefficient? Okay. So let's try to draw the velocity triangle and try to see what exact it is actually. Now let us try to draw the velocity triangle for first stage. Okay. First stage of a rotor. Okay. First stage of a rotor. So I do have a velocity which is, so I'm going to draw a combined velocity triangle. So this is my u. So then I have my v1. So this is my v1. v1 is there, which is my absolute velocity, v1. Then I have my relative velocity, which is my vr1. This is my vr1. I'm going to close it with your vw1 and your vf1. So this is my vf1 and vw1. Okay. Now let's try to draw the exit relative velocity, that is vr2. Okay. This is my vr2. This is my vr2, and this is my v2. This is my v2, and let me complete the triangle with drawing the vf2, and this is my vw2. This is my vf2, this is my vw2. So let me draw the angles alpha 1, alpha 2, and this is my beta 2, this is my beta 1. Okay, blade angles and this particular thing. So if I call this as x, which is equal to VW1 minus VW2, and if I call this as y, okay, which is this particular thing, which is y is equal to VW2 plus u. Okay, x and y. VW2 plus u, so minus u. So that particular thing, I am calling it as y. X and y, I'm trying to define that, so let me not define that y. Let me go with x, that's sufficient. Okay. Now, if you try to look at this particular thing, this is my inlet velocity triangle. So the fluid will be exiting the first stage with a velocity 2. The fluid will be exiting with a velocity 2 here. So if I try to look at it, this is the velocity here. There is a gap between, see, there is a gap between, see, this is where I do have a small gap between your first stage and the next stage stator. Okay, what will happen? This fluid will go to next stage of a stator here like this. So I do have a stator like this. Okay, I do have a stator like this. Okay, this is my stator. I do have a stator or a nozzle. So this is the a stator or a nozzle. So the fluid will be, which is coming out here. The fluid which is coming out here actually, this is it actually, the fluid will enter the stator at some velocity. Say if it is V2, this won't be equal to V2, this will be V2 dash. Okay, so V2 dash, and here the carryover coefficient comes into picture. What is that carryover coefficient? That is carryover coefficient is the psi, is the ratio of velocity with which it enters the stator of the next stage to the velocity it exits from the rotor of the first stage. Or I can write your V2 dash is equal to psi into V2. And the velocity with which it's going to enter your second stage is actually, it is your V2. Okay, this is, if I try to call this as, it enters at V2 dash, okay, and it exits at V3 dash. It enters at V3 dash, okay, and here also they have to have a gap. Okay? Here also I'll be having a gap. So here also I'll be having a gap. And I do have a carryover coefficient from the stator to the next stage of the rotor. So next stage of the rotor, what I can do? So if I try to draw the next stage of the rotor, let me write it. Next stage of the rotor, this is what it's going to see. Okay, next stage of the rotor. So what will happen? So this velocity is, okay, this velocity is what I'm looking at. All these velocities are going to change. Okay, if I take that as some 3, this as some 3, okay, so this is my velocities. Okay, if I try to look at this velocity, let me try to look at the velocities what it is. So let me write it. It enters at some velocity. So V3 dash, it will this will be a V3. Okay, this will be your VR3. Okay, this will be your VF3. This will be your VF3, and this will be your VW3, and this is beta 3. Okay, this is beta 4. Then this will be VR4, and this will be V4, and this will be VF4 and VW4. Okay, because of this gap, this is for the second stage. This is for the, so multi-stage means this will continue. So first stage to second stage to third stage to fourth stage, whatever is there. In between, I'll be having a stator. There is always, what is the particular thing? There is a carry carryover velocity. Suppose this carryover coefficient is 1, then your V2 dash will be equal to V2 and V3 dash will be equal to V3. And that is an ideal condition. Okay, that's an ideal condition. Now, if you try to look at what will be a stator efficiency or nozzle efficiency here. Okay, what will be a nozzle efficiency here actually? Your nozzle efficiency is given by, already we have seen this. So nozzle efficiency for this actually, this will be V3 dash square minus V2 dash square by divided by isentropic efficiency. So I can write this particular quantity here. If I try to write the nozzle efficiency or the stator efficiency, which will be equal to V3 dash square minus V2 dash square by 2 divided by your isentropic efficiency. Isentropic efficiency, that I am going to get this particular thing. Okay. Now, you try to, one more thing, if you go back and see in your Euler energy equation, there were a couple of expressions which we have used it actually. That are using cosine rule. So let me do it, because if I have derived the energy equation, Euler equation, I would have done that actually. Now let us try to write the cosine rule for that. So the cosine rule for it, actually it is, if I consider exit velocity triangle V2 square. So V2 square is equal to VR2 square plus U square minus 2 into VR2 into cos 2. I am going to reference with respect to this angle. So VR1 square is equal to V1 square plus U square minus 2 into V1 into U into cos alpha 1. I am going to consider this angle. So with that reference, I will write using cosine rule. So V2 square is equal to VR2 square plus U2 square minus 2 into VR2 into U into cos beta 2. Okay. VR1 square is equal to V1 square plus U square minus 2 into V1 into U into cos alpha 1. So if I call this as equation number 1, so let me call this as equation number 2. Okay. Now similarly, from the inlet velocity triangle, cos beta 1 is equal to x divided by VR1 or VW1 minus U divided by. So from the inlet velocity triangle, from the inlet velocity triangle, okay, what we have, cos beta 1 is equal to x by VR1, which is equal to VW1 minus U divided by VR1. Okay, let me call this as equation 3. So similarly, if I try to look at it, what is your sine alpha 1? Sine alpha 1 is, if you try to look at sine alpha 1 will be equal to your VF1 divided by V1. Okay, what is cos alpha 1? Cos alpha 1 is equal to VW1 divided by V1. Okay, sine alpha 1 is equal to VF1 divided by V1, or VF1 is equal to V1 sin alpha, or cos alpha 1 is equal to VW1 divided by V1, or is equal to VW1 is equal to V1 cos alpha 1. I am going to, yesterday I told that I am going to use trigonometric principles or using the scaled velocity triangles. Now, if I substitute for, see, what is your VW1? VW1 is V1 cos alpha. If I substitute for this in equation 3, what will happen to your cos beta 1? So therefore, cos beta 1 is equal to VW1 is actually V1 cos alpha 1 minus U divided by VR1. Okay, or I can write V1 cos alpha 1 is equal to VR1 cos beta. So VR1 cos beta 1, VR1 cos beta 1 plus U. I am calling this as equation number 4. Okay. Now if I substitute this in equation 2, substituting for V1 cos alpha 1, this one. The substitute for V1 cos alpha 1. Okay. V1 cos alpha 1 equation. So substitute in equation 2. Substitute in equation 2. Substitute for, let me write that, substitute for V1 cos alpha 1 in equation 2. What I'm going to get, actually, this will be VR1 square is equal to V1 square plus U square minus 2 into U into VR1 into cos beta 1 plus U, or I can write V1 square plus U square minus 2 into U into VR1 into cos beta 1. So minus into plus is minus into 2U square. So 1U square will get cancelled. I'm left with only minus 1U square. So VR1 square is equal to V1 square minus U square minus 2 into U into VR1 into cos beta 1. So I'm calling this as equation number 5. So these expressions are required for us, to which I'm going to use it little later. I'm going to use these expressions little later. Now, so this 1U square and 1U square will go off. Okay, I'm left with only, so 1U square. Sorry, 1 minute. To undo. Okay. This 1U square will go off. I'm left with only 1U square. Now, if I want to derive the expression for it, this expression in terms of the maybe in the next class, what we are going to do is actually we'll try to obtain the expressions for the gross stage efficiency, then differentiate it with respect to the speed ratio phi once again, and get the gross stage efficiency for maximum conditions. So this we will go do it. Then substitute it for an ideal condition. Whatever we did for a single stage, we'll do it for multi-stage. I think we'll 12:08 today. Yeah, 12:08. I think it won't be, time won't be sufficient for me to. It will take another 20 minutes for me. So I will try to do it tomorrow. So let's, I think we'll stop the recording. Stop the recording. We'll stop here.